Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classics/Non-Classics. This is episode number 1090 and Doubleshot 984. Yeah, it's been almost exactly 1 week since I did an episode for the series. Why? Because at the time I didn't have my two trades I wanted to review, but now I do. First up book I actually got at the same time as the Absolute Carnage book and the Absolute Carnage versus Deadpool. This is Absolute Carnage Miles Morales. Yep. This contains the 3-issue miniseries Miles Morales and the Weapon Plus one-shot. Yep. Now you're probably thinking, what does Miles Morales have anything to do with Venom? Was he a past host of the symbiote? Not really, no. It's basically him protecting Matt Gorgon from the symbiotes. Because Matt Gorgon was the host of Venom symbiote from 2005 to 2010. Yeah, for 5 years he was Venom. Oh, in case you're wondering, did he have his own title when he was the host of Venom symbiote? Yes, it was called The Sinister Spider-Man. It was a 4-issue miniseries. Aside from that, nothing. Most of the time when he was the Venom symbiote, he was a member of the Thunderbolts when Warren Ellis was writing the book, or Christos Gage, and he was also part of the Dark Avengers series. So it makes him an ex-Avenger, though he's part of Norman Osborn's Avengers. Yeah, why is Miles Morales wrapped up with this? A couple reasons. One, because he's a Spider-Man, and two, well, actually there's a couple of reasons besides the fact he's a Spider-Man. Second reason, because he's had history with the Venom symbiote, thanks to Park of the Ultimate Universe, though I don't think that the writer Frank Tier basically mentioned that, and the fact he has Venom Blast. Yep, and throughout this entire story, Miles is protecting Matt Gorgon from the symbiotes because he's just a nice guy. It's a fun little mini-series, and I really thoroughly enjoyed it. And it does fall into the events, into the main mini-series. So at least it takes place during the events of the main mini-series. You can definitely say that. Weapons Plus one-shot. Yeah, because apparently the Weapons Plus program has got history with the Venom symbiotes. Thanks in large part to the fact they actually hired Weapon H. This guy. Yeah, the Hulk Marine. Yeah, they actually hired him to go after the Venom symbiote, go after Carnage. He does, but not much is said about a thing. But it's a really good one-shot. In case you're wondering, because the fact Weapon H is a Greg Pak creation, did Greg Pak write it? No. Now, in the case of this book, the Miles Morales miniseries is by Saad Ahmed, who is the current writer of the Miles Morales book. Yeah, he's the current writer, which makes sense that he would be writing this. It is something that when Deadpool had his miniseries had this, they didn't have the current writer of the book basically writing. I don't know why. I don't think it's book publishing at that point. The interior artwork for the Miles Morales miniseries is by Federico Benetti. This cover right here is Clayton Crane, great artist. I met the guy in person, great person to meet. The Weapons Plus one-shot is done by Jed McKay, artwork by Sanfilippo Raffaelli, which is, this is of course really good artwork. Yeah. But there's not much else to say about this particular one. Now there's still more Absolute Carnage books I'm getting my hands on, hopefully. I mean, there's not much else left. I mean, aside from the main book, you got. I don't need that. Okay. Aside from the main book, which I have, these are the books basically that I don't have. Absolute Carnage Lethal Predators, Absolute Carnage Immortal Hulk Incredible Tales, Absolute Carnage Scream, and of course the Venom one. Yeah. So I got a few left. This book roughly a 9.5 out of 10. And surprisingly, Carnage does not show up as miniseries. Yeah, he doesn't. He shows up, but he doesn't fight the character for. He does in Deadpool, which makes sense because he's got history with Deadpool. All right, next up is a classic book right here. Yeah, the series is called Classic/Non-Classic. This book is a classic. This is Essential Tales of the Zombie, Volume 1, which collects the entire 10-issue series of Tales of the Zombie plus Dracula's 1 through. You're thinking 10 issues. And this book is this thick. How in the world is this series so thick? Well, because it's an anthology book. Yeah. You're curious about the character on the cover. Who is this zombie? His name is Simon Garth. He was a coffee king. That's what referred to as. Basically, he owned a coffee factory. He was very wealthy. the fact that they revealed it toward the end of the book, basically, he was the Force A. Now, in case you're wondering, asking the question, Nick, why in the world is there only 10 issues in here? Did the series last for 10 issues? Yes. Why did it end at 10 issues? Was it canceled low sales? Actually, no, that's not the reason why. The reason is absolutely ridiculous. Apparently, one of the artists of the series, who actually was writing doing the Simon Garth story, apparently left his artwork in the back of a taxi cab back in the 70s and has never recovered it. That's the reason why the series ended, because an artist left his sketches in a taxi cab. Yep. Now, I should point out that a majority of the Simon Garth zombie stories are done by Pablo Marcus, great artist. The other people in this book, now Pablo Marcus does pretty much a majority of the artwork in here. Now these are the other people who work on it. We have Jerry Conway, Roy Thomas, Stan Lee. Let's see, other writers. We have the late Steve Gerber, Chuck Robinson, Doug Moak, Tony Isabella, and Carl Wessler, Jerry Conway, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, the artists here, besides, of course, Bob Marcus, basically people like Dick Giordano, basically does inking. He's also a good artist as well. John Bushma, Gene Colan, Marv Wolfman got a chance basically on this. Now, in case you're wondering about the stories here. Now, the first story put in this book is Dracula's #1. You're thinking, wait, I thought he first showed up in Tales of Zombie #1. Well, if you read it, it's more like a prototype story. Basically, sort of the basis of the Tales of Zombies series. And in case you're wondering, this series published from 1973 to 1975. Yeah, 10 issues in just 2 years. Why? Because I think the series come out every couple months. That's my personal thing, because it's an anthology book. And to briefly replace Simon Garth after issue 9 was Brother Voodoo. Yeah, he shows up a few issues of this, and that's Dracula's #9. It's just basically Simon Garth guest starring in a Dracula story. Yep, that's all that is. Basically, Simon Garth basically did not originally look like this. Now, how did he end up like this? He was killed by a man. He was killed by his gardener named Gyps, who later resurrected him as a zombie. Oh, and here's something interesting though. The woman who actually helped him, she later returned for the second half of the series to follow on Simon Garth being his friend for a while. And also, she apparently cannot close her shirt for some reason because she's always wearing like a vest, and her breasts are always basically exposed a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of sorcery and voodoo in here. Yeah, there's some strange characters in here, like there's one called Papa Shorty. Why is he called Papa Shorty? Because he's got no legs. And apparently he can walk on thin air. Somehow. It's not thoroughly explained. Yep. By the way, the whole mystery about set. Now, when you read it in issue 9, it's like, okay. It's like maybe Simon Garth will resurrected again, because in his final story in issue 9, he does briefly get resurrected fully. Not as a zombie, but he returned to life. We get a chance to see his daughter again. You see his ex-wife. And he sells his share of the company because, well, he's going to be dead soon. And he goes after a villain he actually fought during the course series, Mr. Six. He actually went for a couple issues. Yeah, it's nice though that the writer of the story for Simon Garth's last story, issue 9, which I think was all like Tony. It was all Tony Isabella. Yeah. So he got a chance to wrap up the character and have him die once again. Oh, in case you're wondering, did he stay dead after the series concluded? Yes, he did. He stayed dead up until the 2000s when he was brought back as part of the Marvel Zombies craze. Yeah, he was brought back in Marvel Zombies 3. Yep. This is absolute pure classic, and this is the first of the Essential line I've actually reviewed on this particular channel. Now you're probably thinking, wait, didn't you have your review of Block My Books before? Yes, I have. It's DC Showcase Books. This is part of Marvel Essential line. Now, I should point out though, I've had this book for almost 10 years now, and surprisingly, it's in pretty good condition for a book I bought 10 years ago. And I bought it at a time basically where I was not conservative as I am right now when it comes to spending. Back then, I was an idiot and spending too much money and getting broke really quickly. Yeah, But since then, I'm basically more conservative, basically on my money. This book basically cost like $16.99 at a time. Basically, I was buying like 2 of these books at a time, but it was also wasting my money, basically buying a lot of these books. But I have room on my shelves for them. Yep, I give this book roughly a 10 out of 10. It's a pure classic book, but I don't recommend this book for kids. Why? A lot of sorcery. There's a lot of violence in the series. In case you're asking, is there any nudity in the series? No, there isn't. There is no nudity. Also, the sorceress, the voodoo priestess, who brought back Simon Garth as a zombie, she later dies in his last story. Yep. And as for the other stories, like there's one where a guy where it looked like he died, but he came back to life. Apparently, he's got no pulse, no heartbeat, and a judge did something really dumb. Okay, you have no heartbeat, you have no pulse. I'm legally declaring you dead. Bury this man alive. Like, really? Like, how about you thought, I don't know, check his breath? He's clearly breathing. As for how in the world a man doesn't have a heartbeat and have no pulse and still be alive, no idea. And of course, the book end was basically a dream. And there's another story involving like a crooked judge who just enjoys X people even for absolutely reasonable, despite the fact that this judge actually has seen evidence that could clear this person. Nope. Put in a chair. And eventually him and his wife basically have executed for their sadistic death ways. Yeah. But who do I recommend this book to? Adults. Yes, because they might like this. Plus in here, they even have, like, not only do they have the entire story, they have, like, text stories in here. Various movies like White Zombie, which is an old Bela Lugosi movie. They have pictures from Live and Let Die in here. Oh, in case you're wondering, what did the covers actually look like for the series? Well, here's the cover of Dracula Lives #1. Yeah, that's what these covers look like. And you're probably thinking, wait, if this is published by Marvel and this is published in the 70s, where is the Comic Code Authority? Well, this is the EC imprint. Explicit Comics. Yes, this is basically the adult line of comics Marvel published in the 70s. Basically, the latest comic published in black and white. Basically, it's kind of a precursor to the Marvel Max line, where you can go with violence and nudity in the series. And like comic books. Yeah. That was the whole point of black and white, so basically for adult entertainment. Though the Max book actually added swearing to the actual thing. Here there's no swearing at all, but it's still pure classic what it is. And Simon Garth is a great character. Despite the fact I do give this 10 out of 10, okay, anybody who has kids, do not show them this book. This is too grotesque for them. Yeah, but if anybody ever chance me to raise this book, now, I know that look at this book, there's about 2 or 3 people who worked the book since passed away. Stan Lee comes to mind, along with Steve Gerber. Yeah, he since passed away. And Gene Colan. Yeah, Lee Wing got a chance to record one of these issues. Doug Moak is the only one of these writers who actually is not. Larry Lieber, who's actually Stan Lee's brother. I don't know if he's writing anything anymore. I have no idea. Ron Willis I have met. Great guy. Tony Isabella, I've heard vague things about him. I mean, the guy is noteworthy for creating Black Lightning. Who created Simon Garth, who wrote his first story? That was Roy Thomas, Steve Gerber, John Buscema, and Tom Palmer. Yep. But yeah, this is a really good book. I do highly recommend it if you're a fan of horror stuff. I'm a fan of horror, and that's the reason why I got it. And plus, I felt like having it. Yep. But otherwise, that's really it for this particular review. Stay tuned for my reviews today, for my other reviews, and that's in my previous video. Next video will be One Piece. It'll be up soon. Okay, see you next video. Bye.